welcome to TSP Weekly. This is your tech startup podcast for Thursday, October 29th, 2015. Today we are once again back here at the Communitech Hub. It feels like we haven't been here for a while.
Yeah, we're in the Beam Room again.
Yep, we always end up in the Beam Room.
One of our favorites.
Yep. Let's do some introductions here. My name is Darren Conley. I'm a local tech entrepreneur here in Kitchener-Waterloo. Joining me is my co-host, fellow tech entrepreneur, Stephen Campbell. Everything going well today, Stephen?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
We have a couple of podcast issues that we want to talk about right off the bat.
In-house business.
Yes, a contest and a Patreon sort of campaign that we've started.
Yeah,
is that fair enough to say?
Sounds good. Yep, so maybe we'll mention the Dream House first because that's wrapping up very, very soon. If you've been listening to us for a little while, you know that we're giving away some free lottery tickets for this $1 Million Dream Home Lottery, raising money for some local hospitals here in Kitchener-Waterloo.
I told you guys.
I just bumped the mic stand. We always tell our guests not to do that. Anyway, so we have these two tickets. We're basically giving them to, we're kind of doing a random drawing among our listeners who have retweeted anything about us, about the podcast, during the month of October.
Yeah, so this is a Twitter contest. If you don't have a Twitter account, jump on it. Just retweet one of our tweets and you're automatically entered to win.
That's
you
right.
do have to be a resident of Ontario.
And you have to be over 18?
Or 19.
19, is it?
I can't remember.
You have to be an adult.
Yes.
And a resident of Ontario to be able to qualify. But we're recording this on the 29th. You got 2 more days till the end of October. And November 1st, we're going to just look through the retweeters, the people who have retweeted us.
Put them in a hat and
Draw a couple out and off you go. As long as you meet the qualifications, then you've won some tickets.
Yeah.
So please do some retweeting. If you're listening to this and it's still not November yet, retweet us. At TSP Weekly is our Twitter account. So, yeah, get on board that, and you might find yourself in $1 million home.
And we're actually recording in the $1 Million Home again at the middle to end of November with FH Match. We might have a couple more tickets to give away then, too, so stay tuned.
Absolutely. And then with the Patreon stuff, you want
so
to mention
Patreon,
that?
we spent some time sort of mashing a video together about what TSP Weekly is doing here for the community and trying to tell the story of the best and brightest here. We've been sort of carrying that load for a couple of years now, and Patreon gives us the opportunity to let everybody help us. So you can go on there. There's some neat rewards and things we have set up. So check it out at patreon.com.
Yep, PATREON.
Correct.
I believe.
Yes.
Right. And you can find us there, and we'd be more than happy. We'd be overjoyed to receive some support from you guys. That would be awesome. In the meantime, we are here today with 2 wonderful guests. We're here with Luke and Jesse Hambly. They're brothers. They're entrepreneurs. They're forging their way ahead with this amazing product, which they're going to tell us about very soon. The name of the product, and I'm assuming that the company, is Pressa Bottle. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Excellent. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. And so tell us what's this Pressa Bottle thing all about? We're doing a disservice to our listeners by not having video because we actually have an example of the product sitting in front of us here.
Yeah, it's not for babies. It's not a baby bottle at all.
No,
It's for
no,
grown
it's
adults.
It's not.
Yeah.
So basically, we got sick of drinking water.
Right.
We were sick of the taste, and we noticed that a lot of people around our schools were infusing water in a various different ways, and they all seemed pretty inefficient to us. Mm-hmm. So we actually came up with it's basically an infused water bottle with a cold pressed juicer built right into it.
Now, what do you mean when you say infused water?
So infusing your water, there's a variety of different ways. Right now, the most popular way is to just basically throw citrus fruits, vegetables, anything like that into your water.
Sort of the soaking method.
Yeah, and just trying to get those nutrients and flavor without, just to prevent you from eating junky snack foods and snack drinks and stuff like that.
Sure, gotcha. So that's the infused water, and from what I understand, there are people that have been infusing water for a while now through various methods, right? Whether it's sticking a lemon in your ice water at the restaurant or whatever, right?
Yeah. There's lots of ways. It's just you can't get all the flavor out. That's the one problem that we've had a lot of people saying that. So
sure, gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of people complaining that it just floats around in there all day and mostly just becomes bloated. It doesn't release what almost the value that they're putting into their water, and they're not getting all of it. So what we did was try and create the bottle that without adding any bulk or size, making a product that would let people press the fruit and release all of the nutrients or most of the nutrients and flavor.
Gotcha.
So to describe the product, it's clear glass or plastic?
Both.
We're going to be doing
Okay.
both.
Yes.
This one here is plastic.
It's got a top on it, and then a cylindrical cylinder inside that has some slits in the side of it. And you simply sort of turn the top crank to press the fruit or veggies.
yeah.
Yes.
Was there any
Sounds
sexual
right.
innuendo in there that I missed?
No,
or
I
why are you
just-
smiling like that?
I just love that you said a cylindrical cylinder. I mean, it's just to be extra sure about the shape of the thing.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
it looks very
Quite
much like a
cylindrical.
water bottle with an extra cylindrical cylinder
Cylinder.
unit
Yes.
inserted inside.
Yeah, we tried to keep it as simple and minimalistic looking as possible.
Yeah.
Just so you can take it everywhere with you, right?
Sure.
So
And it's actually like a press, right? As you're twisting that thing, it's crushing your whatever you've put inside there.
inside the inside cylindrical cylinder,
Right.
you can
Gently
actually
releasing the essence of the fruit.
Right.
You can actually it sends basically a plunger down in there, cold press juicer, and crushes everything inside. So
Gotcha.
Did you just
And-
call the CC a plunger?
yeah.
So how, as it's crushing this, am I getting like pulp and stuff released into the water, or what is actually coming out? And I don't see any holes in that cylinder. That's why I don't even.
Oh, look closer, my friend.
Yeah, so if you look a
Maybe
little
I'm just too far
closer,
away
we've
from
got-
it. Yeah.
We've got holes or slots in the side, if you
Slits,
will, and
yeah,
basically
alright.
they, so it lets it flow through, similar to an infuser.
Right.
But when you press it, then everything kind of gets mashed to the bottom of the inside basket, and
Gotcha.
it pushes it out. And yeah, depending on how much you mash it, you can push pulp through if you'd like.
Sure.
And we're thinking of maybe doing 2 different options to be able to do that, but.
To control the pulp levels.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have a screen
Yeah.
and then an open port
Yeah.
opportunity portal.
Sure.
Yeah, this specific model, not much pulp comes out here. It's just juice out of this one. So
Gotcha. And so, have you seen any other kind of infused water products that use a similar system to this, or how are other similar products getting their product?
there's no one on the market
Yeah.
who uses the same system we do.
Okay.
There's no one on the market.
So
So
what
you
is
guys
it?
developed,
Yeah.
you guys identified a problem, and then you guys developed a solution, and you're rushing to market now, or what's the barrier to somebody else
Yeah.
coming in? Do you have a patent that you've registered, or
we are patent pending right now, and
Right.
yeah,
the benefit we are trying to push first to market. It is like the first product that lets you do this, so
Yeah.
that's more of the angle we're taking, is being the first there.
Right.
With that being said, obviously there's huge costs and everything to get to market, so
Sure.
we are trying to build a bit of a brand as we go too. So
Yeah.
rushing to market and flooding the market might not make as much sense as.
and it's like you said
Growing
too.
more
Sorry,
organic.
bump the
That's all good.
microphone.
Yeah, it's all good.
So it's like you said too. Like it looks a lot like a normal water bottle. We wanted to keep it very minimalistic too.
Yeah.
So we need to build a brand so
Yeah.
people recognize the brand and don't just like associate it as just another water bottle too.
Hulk
Sure.
press? You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a green one?
So you have a prototype here. Is this the only existing prototype, or do you have a few?
No, we've got about 10 of them now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you said, I think you mentioned before we started recording, it's 3D printed, yeah?
Yes, yeah. This one was done on a higher end 3D printer, and it is still a digital ABS, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit brittle, but we've been using them, functional, everything. So
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually use them right across all our social media like all our outlets.
Yeah.
And they're fully functional and working.
Wow.
Yeah,
there's
so-
quite a few videos on our Facebook page, Pressa Bottle, and Instagram and Twitter that you can take a look and see
Yeah.
it in action.
So
You guys didn't use Lanny to print them by any chance, did you?
No, we didn't.
there's a 3D printing service we interviewed.
That's here
on
at
an earlier
Unitech. Yeah, we'll
podcast.
bring you by
Yeah,
and
I have
that's right.
another.
Sure.
Pablo, hey, what's up?
I wanted to ask now, so the crowd that you're marketing to with a product that would generally be like very health conscious, very kind of I
Fruit
guess-
focused.
Yeah, like the yoga lifestyle kind of folks, right?
Yeah.
Who I'm assuming are also very concerned about things like the type of plastics that would be used and whether or not that would find its way into the extra infused into the water or something. So have you guys gone through that process of kind of figuring out like the plastics issue and the health kind of concerns about that?
Yeah, so that was one major focus, and because of what you said, the BPA levels and everything. So what we have for the plastic bottle right now is it's a Triton plastic, which is today's highest standard for plastic, BPA free, health conscious, everything. The lid's a polypropylene, which is the same for that function. It's the highest quality, everything. And that's why we want to offer the glass as well, because there are still people that maybe you want to put a hot drink in it or something and don't feel comfortable with plastic. So that's where the glass bottle comes into play.
Gotcha.
Neat. How are you guys doing? How did you guys come up with your pricing model? Did you just sort of do this is what it costs to make plus some R&D?
Or what is the price? We're not sure.
Yeah, or have you figured that out yet? Or is that sort of in the works?
Yeah.
So we're starting pre-selling on Kickstarter once we launch, and there'll be a discounted price on there. But right now, we're final retail price is just over $20.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I was expecting it to be like 30 or 40.
Yeah, I know.
we're
trying to. We don't want it to be like. We don't feel that a water bottle should be $40. You know, like at the end of the day, it's a cup, a fancy cup. You know, so ours it gives you the ability to actually juice out everything. So we trying to keep it competitive with pricing, but
keep your minds open, guys. Bundling, you throw
Yeah.
a cantaloupe and a bottle in there, you're at $40 immediately, right? So
There you go.
let's not
discount the options. How did you guys come up with the design? Are either of you
structural engineers.
Yeah, designers.
So I'm
yeah.
I'm mechanical engineering, and Jesse's the marketing and advertising, and it was more Jesse's idea was where we came from, and he's more into sports and everything, and hanging out with that crowd. So that's where the idea came from.
Those water drinkers.
Yeah.
Right.
And so with his idea, and then once our Kickstarter launches, you'll be able to see the original prototype was done with my idea over a phone call, and it's a good thing Jesse took over the design work after that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Functionally, it worked, and that's about it.
But did you guys sit down and teach yourself, 3D modeling or something to be able to do this? Or
Yeah, quite a bit of the SolidWorks, everything was done. I had previous experience, not with plastics and not with consumer goods, but 3D modeling is that, and there's an unlimited amount of YouTube videos and everything to learn from now. Every time you do get stuck.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm always just amazed or impressed by that process of I want to make something, I don't know how to make it exactly right now, and now I've got to learn. And then you go and do it, right?
Yeah.
One way or the other, right? Lynda.com or YouTube videos or
right.
And that's the thing too. I'd had the idea for a while, and I'd been talking to him about it. He bought his 3D printer, and within a week, he'd already had prototypes, that he was making, and it's just it brings it to life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Instead of having to spend all that money on prototyping, so.
Sure, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steven, were you going to say something? I feel like I
that's
talked
really-
over top of you.
That's really neat.
Oh.
Yeah. I think we
Fair
said
enough.
the same thing. That's really cool.
Yeah. Awesome. And so you're going to be selling on Kickstarter. When does the Kickstarter campaign start?
We're hoping in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
So
are you putting together a video and write-ups and all that
it's
stuff?
all
yet?
together right now. We were to be honest, we were aiming for this week. We had a couple little delays, so we're gonna have to postpone it a little bit. But we're hoping to get out really soon here. So
we're mostly just trying to pre-campaign to get as much reach as possible once we do launch.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And then after the Kickstarter campaign, would the goal to be in fitness retail kind of stores and stuff?
yeah, we've debated running just online sales, direct sales over that.
Right.
We haven't come to a full conclusion yet because there's quite a few costs involved with going to retail, but we actually have had some interest in going to retail from some people. So
I've heard if you want to be carried
Good.
in kind of big chains, you have to have some good kind of sales traction already anyway, right? So maybe it's just a process sell online for a while, then you move into other channels.
And
Back
I think
cover of Men's Health.
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be helpful too for us to there's no way we're going to get in there by ourselves.
Right.
So
Speaking of
the
not
partner.
getting in there by yourselves, one of the things that Darren and I see all the time in the startup world is iteration and customer feedback. So you say, I have an idea, you talk to 100 people about it, they all tweak you, and then you go back and iterate on that. Have you guys had that process at all where you've reached out to, past your family and said, hey, what do you think of this pressed fruit idea? And what iterations have you had from your feedback?
Yeah. Any changes to the product?
So this product here is about Rev 60 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, Rev 60 sounds pretty drastic. Some of those changes, might be something minimal that the end consumer would
The
never
shade
see.
of purple.
Yeah, sure.
But with 3D printing, it was really nice because what we did was with those first prototypes, we were able to take them out. We had an iPad, so we only hit places with free Wi-Fi,
Right.
and we had people looking at it, completing a survey, and taking as many notes as we could just to get feedback, changing parts, pieces, what they didn't like, what they did like, and and you can really see the development changes. Most of the ideas not coming from me and Jesse, more feedback coming from who will potentially be using it.
We hear that often. Any surprises for you guys?
Just like doing market research is one thing, but like when you're doing your research and then you give them an actual 3D printed prototype and you're watching them use the product, you pick up on so much extra things that you never even thought about, so it cuts out a lot of added stress probably in the end.
And the people really like to help with the design. They feel a part of it then too, is what we were finding. So
did you ever find yourself looking at somebody trying to use it and be like, you're doing it all wrong?
Yeah,
like,
at the start.
Or you're going to bust it, man.
At the start, you put it together and take it apart so many times, you get good at it, right?
Yeah.
If you give it to somebody who hasn't used it, they're fumbling with it, and you're like, what's wrong with you?
It's like my experience watching Fear the Walking Dead. It's like, don't you people know about zombies? Like, you're a year behind everybody.
Run.
You can't. You need to go now.
It all comes back to zombies, huh?
It should, if it doesn't, it should.
Sure. It's funny. With my own startup, I have a VR startup, and so we're putting headsets on people's faces and getting them to look at stuff. And so many times I'm like, look around, man. Don't just look straight ahead. Like, or, you're training people to use your product somehow. And ideally, I guess, from like a UX kind of point of view, like the best product is the kind of product you just hand to someone and they know right away what to do with it, right?
Do you have any collision insurance on that startup?
Not yet. And
One of the
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was going to ask these guys. As you guys are marketing, like I see the prototype, and I know you guys have a couple other colors because I saw the website. Yep. Can you tell us the story about bringing that website to life? Because we talked to you guys a little bit about some of our advice, and we were quoting you guys on doing a website. My team from Conestoga College. Yeah. You guys eventually went with Shopify, which I think is a great idea. Yeah. What was that? What was that process like?
We actually just switched to we actually just went with a Squarespace template.
Oh, okay.
Cool. It's just so simple. Like, we didn't need any e-commerce up and running right now. You just, take some high quality photos, and it was done. I literally had it done in a night.
Are you guys collecting emails from that?
You actually can go on there. There's a contact us section on there with a just one of those
like
little
a
blurbs.
Form builder
kind
form.
of thing.
Yeah.
And,
did you have TSP Weekly contest on the mind there for a second?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Fair enough. Yeah, I've used Squarespace myself, actually. When my dad ran for municipal councillor in Hamilton, I threw up a Squarespace page for him too. Yeah, it's very easy. Not that Squarespace isn't a sponsor of ours or anything. We just throw out a few plugs for them, being easy to use, I guess.
Apparently so.
Yeah, there we go.
So are you guys going to move to a retail space then, eventually, past the Squarespace?
Like an actual space, or you mean a website?
Sorry, a website where you guys can sell.
So we will eventually move to a commerce website, but right now we just are trying to avoid those costs of just having that sit there, because obviously now we just don't have the word out.
And you can direct everybody to Kickstarter.
Right, which is where we want all the pre-sale to be anyways. It's through Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So.
And pre-selling on Kickstarter, you're going to it's a little bit cheaper to buy on Kickstarter off the start too, and you get a bit more of the company too. Like, you get more of a feel, So there's some extra perks and stuff that we have on there that we're handing out to customers. So
great.
That's awesome. So I was just building into my segue, Stephen, before you had to ask another question about sponsorship. when I was like, well, we don't have Squarespace as a sponsor. We do have Igloo Software as a sponsor, however.
That's right.
And we're going to take a quick break to throw in our Igloo spot here, and we'll see you guys on the other side of this.
When you use our product, you should be able to use it right away.
Igloo is kind of like a big box of Lego. If you know how to use it, you can turn it into anything you want.
You don't have to have a giant crew to work with Igloo. You can just turn it on and it just works.
The good thing about Igloo is that it's not forcing you to learn how to use the platform. The platform learns how to be used by you.
I mean, my life could be drowning in paperwork, but instead I have one platform to keep my life organized.
Igloo, an internet you'll actually like.
Yay, Igloo.
We always get excited about Igloo.
Absolutely.
Loving the Igloo.
So you guys were talking about a little bit earlier, one of the things you're going to try to do is some branding around your bottle. Can you talk to me a little bit about sort of branding decisions? I see you have one color. I know you guys have a logo up on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Tell me about sort of the development of that logo and some of the colors and stuff.
Well, the logo took me a little bit. I just wanted to encompass, like the fruit, the water being crushed all in one. Very simplistic design. The branding wise, we just want to keep, once again, very, very simplistic, modern looking on the branding. We don't want it to be a tacky piece of plastic or glass that you're carrying around with you. We want people that actually want to carry this around.
Sure.
So it's just going to have a small bit of branding on the bottle, a small bit of branding on this top dial, and that's about it. So
okay, so you're going to etch the glass or put a sticker on it
we've
or
been
something
looking
like
at
that?
Luke's been looking at some
getting
laser etching. So
yeah, laser etching.
And have you guys done all that in-house yourselves, or have you consulted with any marketing firms on colors or branding or any of that kind of stuff? Or
most of the coloring we've done through our survey and what people want. And we're not inventing the water bottle either, so you can pick from colors that are trending in water bottle sales now,
right?
Sure.
Which is what we did do. There's a couple new water bottle companies or similar accessory companies that are using a lot of the colors. So one very popular color that everyone seems to be liking is the sea foam.
I was going to say coral.
Yeah. Darn it. So
I think it's crazy that there are people out there like yourselves who have to sit down and be like, all right, we got to figure out what the trends are in water bottle colors these days. And that data is out there, right?
Yeah, coral was like 6 months ago, and it's all seafoam now. And
Apparently
I'm so behind.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of darker colors, less gloss than it once was, and
matte. Yeah, more matte, more modern hues like that in a matte form.
Maybe less aggressive when you're carrying them.
Sure.
There's still the hot pink and but with less of a gloss finish, just so it's...
Sure. So if any of you listeners are wondering what's trending in water bottle
the
design,
intricacies of psychology and colors in water bottles.
I bet you so much of it is tied up into like what water bottle whatever celebrity is carrying to their yoga session that week or something, right? Like, or who's sponsoring whatever. Which would be great if you guys could get like, I don't know, who would be somebody that you would get like Taylor Swift to use your water bottle or something, right? Like,
you don't have her number, do you?
Yeah. If we can get her as a listener, maybe we can convince her.
Yeah, we're tight with the Beeb, but not with her.
Yeah, you know what? Just to go on a slight tangent here, I actually do. One of my good friends, who is a web designer, lived in the same home as Justin Bieber and his family for a while. Like, it was like a split house, and he was renting one half, and the Biebers were renting the other. Like, back when Justin was like, 6 or 7 or something, right? Which is crazy. So he knows them, right? He could, in theory, call them up and be like, "Can Justin Bieber endorse my friend's water bottle or my buddy's podcast?"
I'd love to hear that phone call. Hi, I live in the house that you lived in 25 years ago, and I have a water bottle that I want to sell you.
Them, man. They're just in Stratford, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Easy.
not too far away.
So we'll make that happen for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll hold Darren to that.
See if we can get Bieber with your bottle.
The Bieber bottle. You guys won't mind rebranding, will you? Cut him in as a shark or an angel investor.
That's right.
BB, you could cronk in it and stuff. It'd be great. Swag cup.
I wanted to ask, we touched on this earlier about kind of the start of this idea, but what was kind of the inspiration of saying, we really want to be in the infused water bottle business? Was it just one day you thought, hey, I'd like better infused water, or,
That and I... Like Luke said, I was very athletic growing up, and I just got so sick of, here, have a Gatorade. It's good for you when you're dehydrated. And then you look at the sugar content, and it's through the roof. It's as much as a, like a Coke or a Pepsi. So I just got sick of that and was just sick of the regular infusing methods, and thought it'd be nice to just be able to juice basically your own, mildly flavored water.
So Jesse, I had heard more of a Three's Company story at the beginning of this than this I'm an athlete thing. He was a single man living with several female roommates.
Oh, yeah.
Is that not a story that I remember?
Playing house league sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And they would always come home with water, logged lemons, and dump them in the sink.
Yeah.
And Jesse didn't like that very much.
Is this true, Jesse?
Yeah. Half of it.
Okay. Fair enough. What's the other half? Or you don't want to mention it?
I don't want to mention it.
Tune in to TSP Weekly After Dark for the rest of the
Yeah, that's right. The uncensored version. So how long was it between when you had this idea to now I'm going to actually do something about this for real?
So I probably had the idea for 2 months. Luke got his 3D printer, and like, not even kidding you, a week he had multiple prototypes.
Really? Now, did you buy the printer for the purpose of printing water bottles, or was it just for something to play with?
I wanted one for a while. I did a lot of research, and I ended up getting it right at the right time. But we'd kind of had other ideas that the printer was coming in for. You know, that I think everybody that gets a 3D printer thinks they'll be the next manufacturing
hub of whatever.
And,
I need a pencil holder.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I'm going to print.
Did you print your Yoda head? Apparently everybody's supposed to
it's the Yoda head printer.
Mine came, the test piece was like a piece of pipe, but I have seen, I think it's the MakerBot that comes
Very
with
simple.
the test piece to, when you set it up, is the Yoda head.
Yeah,
It's like Hello World, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then with 3D printing, I think the name of it alone, and anybody that's done it, it sounds easier than it is. So there was a lot of a learning curve, and this product with so many revisions and trying to figure things out was perfect because you print you might print the same piece 10 times, and every time you not only make changes to our bottle, but we were also learning how to set the printer better, how to get the prints to come off better, stick better, everything. So
sure. Was there anything else that you were using the printer for? This has nothing to do with your product. I'm just wondering.
The original one. What's that, sir?
Printing T-Rex heads.
Yeah, I've got a pretty cool T-Rex.
A lot
head.
of T-Rex heads.
Cool.
The trials and tribulations of getting T-Rex just right out of the 3D printer.
Yeah.
And that's
It'll
the
take
beauty of it.
hours.
If you're working on the CAD model and you're going to be, okay, this is going to take me 3 hours. Well, might as well let the printer run and make something cool.
Right.
It's the beauty of Thingiverse.
I'm going to make his arms just a little bit shorter.
Fair enough. That's awesome. Okay, so you get the 3D printer, you start printing prototypes, and then what was the next step? Showing them off to people, or?
There's the coloring. Like we said, that was one that we wanted to focus on. We wanted to get the colors right before we were showing people. So we actually figured out just recently that you can use fabric dye. These are all fabric dyed, actually, and it's a lot better looking than the paint we were using before. And then then we took them out and just started letting people use them, basically.
Wow. Okay. And so
when you say use them, not drink out of them. With fabric dye,
everything except drink out of them.
Right.
Yes, press away, folks.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you start this process? When did you get the printer?
In January is when we got the printer. And
okay.
I think we maybe worked almost circular for the first 2 months, where we were, I think like anybody starting a company, build it and they will come, and you just start pumping, getting the product done. So we maybe had the product done before we had a lot of what needed to be done ahead of time done.
Sure.
So we kind of ran in circles a little bit there, which you can look at it either way. Maybe we learned a lot, maybe we didn't.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it got us to where the product is now. So I think longer time, and even still, there's always little changes you're making. So more time the better. But yeah, we've been at it now since January. And
wow. And is this full time for both of you? Like, do you have jobs on the side still?
Yeah, on the scale of sort of I have a job to I'm eating ramen noodles. Where are you guys on that scale?
We both work full time, but it's been pretty full time. I'd say every night from about 5 till 10 at night.
Oh, wow.
So you're eating ramen noodles because of the necessity and speed, not the price of efficiency.
Right. Yeah, so it's taken a long time, but we're starting to gain a little bit of traction now, which is nice. And actually, we're starting once we launched our social media handles and stuff, we really started to notice a lot of people taking to the product. So
what's the size of this market? Do you know?
Off the top of my head,
like everybody drinks, I guess.
How many water bottles were sold last year? Go.
Toronto, I think there's numbers like for flavored water enthusiasts in Toronto, 400,000 roughly.
Oh wow!
Really?
So
it's a good chunk of the population.
Yeah, and that's flavored water, right? So that a couple little tweaks in different types of water there, but
but still.
That's a good market to swim in.
Yeah. Is that a water pun?
We're just warming up for the lightning round.
Fair enough, which is coming up soon. I wanted to ask, too,
this is a great question. Hold on. Wait for it.
My train of thought is derailed partway through. We're still
Clouds
thinking of time.
came in.
I wanted to ask, so have you availed yourself of any of the kind of the startup resources local to, KW here?
Yeah, you guys are based out of Elora, is that right?
Yeah, we're just in Elora. So I graduated from Conestoga College just this August. And,
nice.
This guy too.
Congratulations. Boom. Go Condors.
Yeah.
So we were working with the Center for Entrepreneurship at Conestoga College and as well at Georgian College where Jesse's from.
Okay.
And
So Harold DeVries and Barbara Fennessy and that crew.
Yeah.
Harold DeVries is just new into it, I think, now. Yeah,
So that's why we're saying hello to him.
Oh, fair enough. Yes.
And so we were working with them, and then they put us onto the Accelerator Center as well.
Okay.
And we went through the Jumpstart program at
Cool.
the Accelerator Center.
Yeah, we're just actually waiting to hopefully get accepted into the second phase there of the Accelerator Center.
Is there money involved in that program?
There is money, yeah, but we're actually we're obviously we'd like some money.
Yeah,
but
sure.
We're actually really excited to work with those guys. They've been already extremely helpful. So
awesome.
yeah.
So outside of your Kickstarter campaign, are you looking for funding? Have you talked to any venture capitalists? Is Dad an angel investor? Have you guys put any personal money into it at all?
We've put in personal money so far, and we've had some interest, which we've been hesitant to maybe bite into yet. Yeah, there's the family investments that are always offered, but obviously we're trying to do this on our own too. So so far we've been able to float the boat on our own, and looks like we'll be able to for a while still. So
hopefully if Kickstarter can give you a proper kick, then that could kind of set you for the next phase, right?
And that's part of the reason why we're hesitant to take anything before Kickstarter. So
that's awesome.
No, that makes sense. Well, I think Stephen already teased it a little bit earlier, but I think it might be time to move into the bad sound effects portion of the podcast. I'm just kidding. The lightning round. So
there's probably a lightning sound on the internet we could get because at some point I'm going to be over it, and that was several weeks ago.
I think we've been doing it for months now, and I never think to myself, why don't I go find a lightning
Yeah, we should.
Steel?
Yeah.
Ooh, sheet of steel. We should get a cool sheet of
steel.
steel.
We should.
Because then it's still interactive, and
we
I
can
like
invest in it with our big dollars we're making
Let's do
on
it.
the podcast.
Yeah.
The sheet of steel budget. So listen, the lightning round is a round where we just throw a bunch of questions at you guys. Some of them are silly, some of them are less silly, but that's it.
You want to start with silly? You want to start with serious? What do you want to do?
What do you got queued up?
The obvious question we haven't asked these guys is, what's the coolest thing you've pressed so far, fruit or otherwise?
What did you press? What's the coolest thing you
got? Something
the
good?
best tasting.
Wait. We have to say it this way. What's the most impressive thing that you've pressed?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I would say pomegranate. Mostly.
Pomegranate.
I'd never really eaten pomegranate even, so that was pretty neat to see. And it was actually my girlfriend that did that one.
Pomegranate is like you crack it open and it's all the little
the beads,
pea sides. Yeah.
So did you put the seeds in it then, or some of the flesh?
You put the seeds in, and the seeds don't come through, obviously, so it just pops the little capsules they're in. And you just get the flavor.
That's got to be like packed with good things for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Antioxidants, man.
That's actually what I was going to say too. Just because you couldn't do it before, right? It didn't release anything before. You put it in the water to just float around.
Yeah.
For hours.
So in theory, you can put like corn kernels in there if you want some corn water, like that kind of thing.
Wow. The vegetables are pretty good too. Like you can do cucumbers, stuff like that.
Sure.
You went straight to corn juice, eh?
Mint.
Well, because the pomegranate seeds look like the corn kernels.
Okay. Dried corn.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting
Sure, man.
There's a lot you can press in there.
There's a lot you can press. Did I tell you guys when we talked earlier about how I went through like a cabbage juice regimen?
You did.
Right. When I had a stomach ulcer.
So please don't repeat it.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive.
All I'm going to say is that, I thought I already did that cheesy joke.
I know.
All that to say, like, if you have a stomach ulcer, you could use your water bottle for cabbage juice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend it for the taste.
No.
You're not going to put that recipe on the website. Cabbage juice press.
That's right.
What do you got, D?
I'll ask you guys this. What is one of your hidden talents? Aside from creating really cool press water bottle designs.
Snowboarding, I guess, would be our hidden talent. That's where we...
For both of you?
For both of us,
You guys have one uniboard?
Yeah.
It's actually our other brother, too.
We had our own snowboards.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You have another brother, too? Who does?
Yeah, there was
In
three
the
of us.
snowboarding,
Yeah, at
Wow.
one point, all three of us were living in Whistler.
Wow.
And we were traveling quite a few places and doing quite a bit of snowboarding. I'm sure there's
The Flying Hambly brothers.
Like Whistler is like the snowboarding capital of Canada, I think, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun. We were...
It's the party capital of Canada, too.
That too, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to ask any more questions about Whistler, maybe. Maybe Stephen will.
So you guys identified a pain that you were able to solve. What's a pain that you guys have that you would like another entrepreneur to solve for you?
Oh man, I know I have some, and I haven't thought of them on the way in.
That's pretty good if you had to drive in with no pain.
Yeah.
That's nice. All the way from Melora.
We spend a lot of time thinking of new things that could be invented. So now I'm just trying to think.
So do you guys go through that exercise of what's a pain and how can I solve it?
Yeah.
And is that
We do, yeah. I actually find a lot of them is just when you come up with a pain, writing it down.
Yeah.
Write it down in a book, and then you go back to it later. And this one was actually written down in a book, and we went back to it later, and you can actually make something out of it. So
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
yeah.
I am going to ask a Whistler-related question. So,
Yeah.
like, can you give us a story about something cool that happened while you guys were living up in Whistler? As somebody who's never lived there, I'd like to know what I'm missing out on.
Vicariously.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, there was 1 week we went out and actually our parents ski, so they came out for I think it was a week. It might have been 2 they came for, but we got a crazy amount of snow, and I don't know the number.
Like 1.6 meters.
In like 10 days,
in
and
super
it was
short amount of time.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and but yeah, our dad, he skis, great skier, but he's on the Ontario skis, so they're I don't know skis, but maybe 3 inches wide, not the 6-inch powder skis.
Sure.
And with the 3 of us, we're hitting all the jumps and powder bluffs is what they were.
Yeah.
And our boards would be able to float up it. And our dad came in full speed. and
Plowed through them, eh?
Yeah, 50 years old, end over end. And we're like, oh no, Dad.
Wait,
You can't ski on those toothpicks out here
oh no, but you're also clapping because you know he's not going to be hurt. It's
Yeah,
that much
sure,
snow. It's
sure.
like landing in a mattress.
unless somebody else was buried in there from last time they tried it.
So,
Wow. Crazy.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, pick a number between 1 and 10.
2.
And
7.
pick a D, M, or a Y.
Why?
Okay, so you're going to move forward your number in days, months, or years.
Uh-huh.
What's happening right now in your corporation, in your company?
In
You
days,
said
months, or
2 years, did you?
Yeah. I don't know. Good question.
Where you guys want to be in 2 years?
2 years. We ultimately just like right now we want to just get into people's hands basically, and in 2 years probably on shelves, and we want to just be seen as like a healthy alternative to all the
The
junky-
brand people look to for a
Yeah.
water bottle that's
We just-
so
yeah, we wanna be
with
associated just
great
like-
tasting water.
Yeah.
So you guys going to be manufacturing then and trying to put them into retail shelves? Are you going to stay online? Are you going to try to partner with a big
We want to
distributor?
partner. We definitely want to partner with somebody with better manufacturing contacts than us, obviously.
With
How
that,
many
with that being said, though, we might try and keep everything in Canada if
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I guess you have to let it kind of grow organically to know where
Right.
it's going to go a little bit.
Sorry,
first,
yeah,
right?
I should have said. The plan was
No.
to create everything in Canada to sustain like the highest quality of all the plastics and glasses that we use. So.
Sure.
And Luke, you had 7 months, did you say?
I had 7 months, so if I was looking ahead 7 months, and I'll give you the ideal situation is we will be available for purchase through the website. Hopefully manufacturing. Our molds are right the first time, not the 8th.
Yeah.
And
Having had an incredibly successful Kickstarter campaign.
yeah, that
right?
would be ideal. And we'll hopefully be selling by then.
Yeah.
Working on, again, getting into as many people's hands as possible.
Sure.
Awesome.
Awesome. My next question is, if you could be drinking any kind of infused water flavor right now, what would you be drinking?
I like the apple ones actually.
Yeah?
Apple water, just because you
Is
don't
there-
get to infuse with apple a lot, and this thing just flattens them. So like.
And
you
what
get a
kind
lot
of
apple
apples?
juice.
Do you have a certain kind of apple?
Granny Smith, Gala,
Yeah, I
Red
like
Delicious.
what's
Yeah.
green is Granny? No,
Yeah,
Granny's.
Granny
Yeah,
Smith.
green
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like
Green
very
apple.
tart.
Apples. Yeah, very
Yeah.
tart. That's what I like. So.
Yeah? What about yourself?
I wonder if you put cinnamon in with it too.
Yeah, you can do that actually.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
good.
Ooh, muddled.
Yeah.
The pomegranate one that I was talking about earlier, we had blackberries and pomegranate in with it, and it was pretty good. So
Oh, awesome.
That's my go-to right now.
We've experimented too with some teas and stuff in there too. Like,
Okay.
you can just put a tea, like different tea leaves or whatever in there, mint leaves, things like that. Herbs.
Yeah.
It's really good too, actually.
That's
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah. Mint water is good, actually.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
mint water before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead,
hard to
Steve.
press the mint.
It's true.
But so I often am a genie in a bottle. I know.
You look a little genius.
Thank you. What if I popped out of the bottle? What wish would you guys ask for me to grant if we kind of focus on an entrepreneurial, looking at your business?
Yeah.
What's the
Like a-
problem?
Like a crazy.
Anything
Crazy
you need,
wish, or
anything you
like
want.
a
This is
realistic
genie
wish?
time, baby. Nothing's off the table.
If I had mine would be, just because of where we're at right now with the trying to get it to reach as many people as possible, would be either a celebrity endorsement or an ad in women's health or something big like that, just to reach our potential customers and get it into their mindset and show them what it is.
Sure.
So if I have a selfie of you and the Pope drinking from your...
Perfect.
Get some reach for you.
I've heard the Pope is the perfect spokesman.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Well, isn't he the guy that the
water.
congressman took his water afterwards and was sprinkling it on himself and his family and
Maybe.
drank it?
Like holy water? You
Well,
can have pressed holy water. I guess there's a whole other market.
Yeah, he took the cup that the Pope had drank from, had taken a sip from. So look it up online. It's pretty bizarre.
Mistook it for the Holy Grail or something.
He's a Democrat that's lost his mind.
Sure.
But anyway.
Fair enough.
And then for mine, it would probably be just, again, I want just everyone to be looking at Pressa as the go-to health bottle. Like, I don't want them to like have the alternative of going and getting a drink. I want them to think like when there's a desire to have something sweet, they use Pressa Bottle. That would be my wish, I guess.
So sort of an educated...
A branding wish, I guess.
Customer,
Yep.
okay.
To place it into their mind, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes
Neat.
sense.
That's a little longer play for the genie, but I got you.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. What question are we on here?
That was my fourth.
Okay, so for my fourth, I'm going to ask this. Give one piece of advice for new startups in 5 words or less. Go.
Do your research.
Nice. Good.
Stay at it.
All right. Perseverance and studying. That's
Great
I
segue.
guess I just broke it down to one word each.
Yeah, great segue to my last question, Luke.
All right.
Stay at it-ness. What motivates you guys? With all this swirling around, you've got your own little startup plus your own jobs. How do you guys keep pushing forward when you hit those obstacles or the trough of despair?
Yeah, I think there's times you kind of get, I don't know if bummed out's the word on it, but you get
Mad at each other?
Yeah, mad at each other, yeah. But you just, especially when you're just designing, you're not showing people, you don't have any patents, so you're afraid to show people, and you're almost working in your bedroom like a mad inventor sitting there, But one thing that was really motivating was when we did get to start showing, friends and launch our Kickstarter, or not our Kickstarter, our social media.
Yeah.
And just getting feedback from there, it's huge. You get people asking to buy it and stuff now from,
stroke your
far
ego a
sides
bit.
of
Like
the
you
States.
don't know, like
Yeah.
what people are gonna think, and then until they actually tell you, yeah, I like this, like, and you're asking them like, now be really honest with me, right? Like, tell me if you hate it. Be really honest.
I think the most honest thing they can do is buy the damn thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it looks great, is awesome, but show me the money.
That's
right?
the best feedback.
That's the best feedback, right?
There you go.
We're sold out.
My last question is, what is the first big purchase you guys are going to each make after you've got your buyout from...
We've sold 1 million bottles.
From whoever buys out water bottle companies. I don't know who does that.
Nestle?
Yeah, something like that. Sure. What are you? How are you going to treat yourself?
My car is falling apart, so I'd probably just get a new Volkswagen.
Okay.
New Jetta.
Okay.
Great,
Doesn't have to be too fancy.
Yeah, great deals right now too, so that's good.
Yeah.
Right? 0% financing.
TDI, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're talking about big sales. I've been a car guy forever. I'd go
Really?
some sort of a crazy
What are we
crazy
doing,
exotic
Bugatti, or what are we doing?
Yeah.
GTA?
I really like that Aventador, the Lamborghini.
Okay.
But then also I like some of the older cars too, and depending on what kind of money we're talking, I've always liked the older Camaros, stuff like
Okay.
that, and even a project car too.
You can always go back to the future and get yourself a DeLorean. There's only, 9,000 of those in the world or something?
But they're not
like that?
rusting,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah, see, there you go. Perfect.
Very timely.
Yeah, well,
timely, good.
the reason I
Good job.
thought of it actually is because this week was like the week that I guess it was last
There's
week
a
maybe
lot
that
going
Marty
on.
McFly came to the future and
They made
it was
a whole-
October 21st.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of times they flew around, but this was the furthest that they went.
Yeah.
So that nonsense is over,
right,
basically.
right. And I was also watching a documentary about the making of Back to the Future on Netflix yesterday night.
Yeah.
So I got it stuck in my head. But that's a tangent that we don't have to follow any further.
Wow.
How about that? Well, I guess that wraps up the lightning round. Oh, the bonus question. Jeez, I can't believe we almost forgot. So the bonus question is toilet paper, fold or scrunch?
Wow.
Scrunch.
Yeah.
Scrunch.
Scrunch too.
Double scrunch.
Yeah.
It has been ages since we've had a double scrunch episode, I think.
This is a triple scrunch, I hate to tell you.
Well, I double scrunch on the guest side. I mean.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's. I'm gonna savor the experience of being outnumbered by scrunchers today as a folder. Great. Well, thank you.
How's that taste? You savoring the feeling.
Yeah,
eh?
it's nice. I guess it's fun.
Scrunchalicious.
It's different. Awesome. Well, listen, we should probably wrap things up here, guys.
Let's scrunch it up.
Yeah.
Let's. I can't think of a good folding pun for wrapping up a podcast episode, but I'm sure there's one out there. Feel free to tweet a folding pun if you're listening to this.
Darren
and you come
needs
up with
tweeting
one.
help, Amaris.
That's right. So before we go, where can we find you guys online? You say you got your social media stuff up and running?
You can
The
get
easiest way is just the website www.pressabottle.com.
That's PRESSA
and then bottle.
Bottle, right?
And you can get any of our social media handles. It's just at Pressa Bottle.
Okay.
Right across the board. All of
So
them.
we can get you on, are you on Facebook?
Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, and
Yep.
Instagram.
And all
Awesome.
the links to them are on the site as well.
Yeah.
So.
Perfect. And we'll post the links on our site too, so people can find you easily. And,
Perfect.
Yeah, go check out the
follow
Kickstarter
you and
campaign.
stuff. Follow you and like you and all
Yes,
that
please
stuff.
check out
Perfect.
the
Thanks
Kickstarter
a lot.
campaign.
And no problem. At Kickstarter, we should see it in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll keep our eyes
I
open
think
for
the
that
purple
too.
bottle will be the #1 seller.
You
Yeah.
think so?
I'm going on a limb.
I thought it was going to be like the coral was
The sea foam.
The sea
Yeah,
foam.
sea
Well,
foam, yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Fair enough. All right, so let's throw out some thank yous here. First of all, thank you very much to Luke and Jesse Hambly for joining us today,
The
guys.
Flying
That's
Hambly
awesome.
brothers.
Thanks a lot for having us, guys.
Yeah, our pleasure. And thank you to Communitech for letting us take up some more space here and record our show today. And thank you to you, our listeners, for joining us on another episode of TSP Weekly. Please feel free to send us your comments, questions, criticisms, and feedback. Our email address is feedback@tspweekly.com, or you can send us a message on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @TSPWeekly. And please remember to retweet us if you want to get in on that contest. We are just anxious to hand out some tickets to people who might win and then share the bounty with us afterwards.
Rent you out a room. We can always podcast in the basement.
or at least invite us over
you
and
go.
let us hang out a bit.
Yeah.
So from myself, Darren Conley, my co-host Stephen Campbell, and from our guests, Luke and Jesse Hambly from Pressa Bottle, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you all next week.
Press on, folks.